Welcome back to Fenrir Canine Training, and we're not going to waste any time as we are diving straight into another incredibly useful and value-packed video from our good friend and Fenrir certified trainer, Garret Wing.
Hey, well, thanks for another great introduction. In today's episode, we're going to talk about why I'm using 3 different food pouches to train Mr. Bentley here, the AM staff, and why you could use 3 different food pouches at home, or how you can just use one food pouch. Different little systems and techniques we use as a professional dog trainer to bring a lot of extra excitement and value to the game of food training. And we're going to use Bentley to show you how it's all done. So stay tuned for this episode. All right, so let's dive into why we're using 3 different food pouches. So I don't always use 3 different food pouches, and what I'm going to say today may contradict one of my prior episodes where we talk about we only use kibble to feed dogs, and that's what I have in this pouch right here. These large pieces of kibble from Royal Canine. This one is the Bulldog brand, but we also use the German Shepherd brand. I'll show you the difference between those 2 later, but they're a large type of kibble. This is what we feed 99 to 100% of the time. However, sometimes you have a dog that's a little bit of a picky eater, or you want to make the training session a little more motivating, and that's when we'll go to, like the secret sauce we call it, a different food pouch. So in this food pouch we actually have cut up hot dogs, and then in this food pouch we actually have smaller puppy kibbles. Also in pouch number 1, we'll call it, that big kibble, we actually have hidden down in here some freeze-dried dog treats. So this is a chicken. It's freeze-dried raw food, so you're able to use it and keep it in your pouch and it won't go bad. And so you can see how, depending upon what we're doing with the dog, maybe he does something that I really like and he just bangs into it down like really hard and fast, or he's super focused on me. Instead of paying him $1 with this piece of kibble, which is great, I mean this is very powerful, maybe I pay him a $20 piece of the freeze-dried raw food, or a $5 piece of hot dog, or maybe we're using the kibble for a particular thing. The puppy kibble usually has a little bit more fat in it, so they tend to like that a little more. But you can see how, depending upon what we're teaching, what we're training, how the dog's performing, we may access a $1 bill, a $5 bill, a $10 bill, a $20 bill. What can also be said about that, even though we have $1 bills, that's the freeze-dried one. Let's go back to the kibble. They're all mixed up in there, and I'll tell you why we mix them up in a minute. But this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is $6 in the dog's mind, right? So there is some power to be given when you pay more than one piece. So we'll demonstrate that here shortly when we feed Mr. Bentley here different types of kibble, and you can see his reaction to the different types. All right, so now we're just down to 1 pouch. Now, when you saw the 3 pouches, I'm able to access 3 different types of food, 3 different values of reward, rocking and rolling with 3 pouches, but you may not want to walk around with 3 pouches and look goofy like I do. If you want to just rock 1 pouch, obviously you can just fill it to the brim with whatever food you're using. However, sometimes to add a little more value to it, to stretch out the duration of a training session, we do something where we layer the food. And what I mean by that is, let's say there's a really powerful treat that the dog likes, we'll put that in the bottom of the pouch. Then we'll put like a medium value reward in the middle of the pouch. And then on the top, we'll top it with the kibble or whatever their day-to-day treat is. I shouldn't say treat, but their kibble, what you're training them with. Their training food is up top. And then what happens is you're 1, 2, 3 minutes into the training, you're rocking and rolling with the top food, the low value food. Then 5, 10 minutes into the training, you're starting to get into that good stuff. That middle area could be hot dogs. Then towards the very end of the training, it's what they've been looking for this whole time. They're 20, 25, 30 minutes into a training session, and now you're finally accessing that really high value treat. What could that be? The freeze-dried raw food. It could be steak leftovers from the night before. It could be cheese. Whatever it is that really, gets your dogs excited, you're gonna have that in the bottom. The other reason we might do that too, you somewhat are transferring the value of the high value treats on the bottom to the low value reward up top. And you're gonna do that by doing this strategy I'm gonna tell you about now. When we layer them 3 times like that, we'll close it up, take it off, put it in the fridge, fully stacked and packed. And after 12 hours, 24 hours later, when you pull that out from the fridge and you go to use it, all the flavor, all the smell from the high value treats on the bottom and the medium value treats in the middle are gonna find their way into the top, the treats on top, or the kibble on top. So that flavor and that smell is going to transfer over, and it just lends into a great experience for the dog all the way around. In another episode, we'll talk about these types of pouches and the other type of equipment you can use to lend to itself to improve your training. But for now, we'll just dive into the 3-bag method. So let me check real quick, make sure I got them lined up. Almost always the low values are on the right. Then the middle ones or the higher value is going to be to my left, sometimes center. So we'll show you what that looks like now. We'll go through a little repertoire with him and feed him different value rewards based on how he performs. So watch. Yes. $1. In fact, that was a piece cut in half, so it's 50 cents. Sit. Yes. But see, I really liked what he did there, so I'm going to dig in for a hot dog and pay him for that. And it doesn't matter that I'm paying him. Look, another hot dog. That's another $5. Down. Yes. There's another $5 bill. Even though that hot dog came like 5-10 seconds after he completed the command, it doesn't matter, because if you understand marker training, I marked to the millisecond what I loved about it at the speed of sound. So let's try it again. Let's see how he does on that SIT. Sit. Yes. I would say that sit was worth $5 to me. Now on the next one, I'm going to sneak in from deep in my $1 pouch. Deep down in there are $20 ones hiding, and that's the freeze-dried chicken. Down. Yes. So he's thinking to himself, man, I got to do downs more often because they pay me the big bucks. And you can imagine that if your dog is struggling with something and you're trying to build a little more value to that command, that's when you bring in the heavy artillery. That's when you bring out the hot dogs, the freeze-dried food. I do not recommend training your dog all day, every day on the good stuff. Then you can't go any further than that. So train them on the $1 bills, and then you always have the 5, 10s, and 20s to help you through anything you might be struggling with. Specifically, one of the things pretty much every dog struggles with is, yeah, great, he knows sit and down and heel, but when you put that around distractions, like you go somewhere public, like behind me, a park with a bunch of kids, I need him sucked into me, and I need to let him know, hey, guess what? Today we're training with 5s and 10s and 20s. So I hope that makes sense to you, and that's the 3-bag method, or the layered system as we call it. And I hope it finds its way into your training program, and I hope you find value in it. And if you have any questions about it, please post them in the comments below. And if you like what you see, make sure to let Will know over at the Fenrir Canine Training channel how much you like seeing our channel. And if you want more of this, make sure to check out our channel, American Standard Dog Training, where we have 3 to 4 new dogs every month coming in. Next month, we got a couple of great animals coming in. We're starting from scratch with them, so you're going to make sure you want to watch that and see how we progress through the steps using the 3-bag method, using the layered 1-bag system to see how we can get that dog from a wild animal into a nice, well-behaved dog like Mr. Bentley here. So we'll see you on the next video. Good boy. Sit. Yes.
Garret, that was amazing as always. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Remember guys, if you want to see more of Garret, his information will be in the description box below, and he's featuring here pretty much every week on this channel as well. So subscribe, because I can't wait to see you on the next episode of the Fenrir Canine Training.